Hi, we are Antonio Lorenzo and José Ángel Olivas from the University of Castilla-La Mancha in Spain, and we're gonna present the paper entitled Multi-Level Representation of Key Factors for the Prediction of the Madrid'21 Elections Results using Case-Based Reasoning. And we will start now the presentation. The statistical techniques have been used to make election and other kind of predictions, and later also machine learning ones are used. But both sets of techniques are mainly based on historical results, and generally statistical techniques work well when there is a continuity of trends. The machine learning algorithms usually work well when they have been trained on the same type of cases, and both do not usually consider relevant key factors, external key factors that influence the outcome. The aim of this proposal is to improve predictions using a case-based reasoning approach. The case-based reasoning attempts to solve new problems by remembering and adapting solutions previously used to solve similar ones. And CBR is based on two basic principles. The problems tend to repeat themselves, and similar problems have similar solutions. So, CBR in a new situation retrieves the similar previous cases, reuses past experience by adapting it in the context of the new situation, revises the new situation and retains the new experience in memory for future situations. So, the main contributions of our approach are to represent electoral processes with a multi-level taxonomy that relates key facts to electoral outcomes, to compare different electoral processes by their key factors, and to predict electoral outcomes with historical key facts and specific current key facts using the similarities with previous cases. In a standard case-based reasoning system, there are two key elements: the knowledge of representation and the similarity function for retrieving the previous cases. But all phases are interconnected, and the definition of the first step has a decisive influence on the rest. On the four standard steps of case-based reasoning, retrieve, reuse, revise, and retain, the most critical one is the revise, because it adapts the similar case solution to the current situation. Regarding knowledge representation, the cases, the general cases, are the results and the last 5 elections. A case is made up of an identifier, a territorial scope, a year, and a month that the elections have been voted on. The key factors are represented by an elections identifier, the key factor, the denomination, and the value. The political fragmentation is represented by the elections identifier, the block, right wing or left wing, and a value. And the elections results are represented by the elections identifier, the results identifier, and the political party. If every political party decreases, holds, or rises with respect to the last elections, and the political wing, right or left. For example, the following graph represents the Madrid, Spain regional elections of May 2019. It's a multi-level representation. At the most external level, the regional election is identified. At the second level, the key factors, economic crisis and corruption. At the third level, the fragmentation of the right wing and the left wing. And at the last level, the electoral results by political party, political wing, and if it got more, less, or the same results as in the previous regional elections. All elements of a level are related to each other. The distance and similarity functions are related. To retrieve historical cases that are similar to the current one, the similarity function is defined with 4 dimensions: economic crisis, political corruptions, right-wing fragmentation, and left-wing fragmentation. The distance function between the current case and the case in the database is the sum of the absolute difference between the value of the current case and the case of the database of the 4 previous dimensions. But the prediction of election outcomes is a very complex task. There are a lot of social, economic, and political factors that mainly influence at the time of voting. So the aim is to predict the number of representatives that the Spanish political parties will get in the elections to the Parliament of Madrid on the 4th of May of 2021 will get. There are 136 representatives that will be elected. So the cases base is made up of the last 3 regional elections in Madrid, those corresponding to the years 2019, 15, and 11. For example, for the regional elections of Madrid in 2011 is represented by the identifier 3. The key factors are economic crisis. It has a very high value because the 28 US economic crisis in Spain began in 20 and 10, and it was very intense, and the corruption of the government political party was very low. The political party that was governing was the right-wing party, main right-wing party. And there were very few corruption cases against this party. And the fragmentation, only 4 political parties got representation, 2 from the right wing and 2 from the left wing. On the right wing, the fragmentation was very low, because although there were 2 political parties, the difference in representatives was very wide, from 72 to 8, 64 representatives of difference. And on the left wing, the fragmentation was very low, because there were 2 political parties, one from the left side and one from the extreme left side, where the difference was only 23 representatives. And the election results, for example, the main representative of the left side, the socialist, with respect to the previous regional elections, was 42 representatives. This party got fewer representatives. The retrieve step. The key factors are quantified for the current case and for all cases of the cases database. For the upcoming Madrid regional elections in May of 2021, the specific key factors are: the economic crisis was very high due to the pandemic conditions, and the government corruption was very low. The right-hand party in government had no corruption cases, and the right-wing fragmentation was very low, because only 2 political parties got representatives, and with a big difference between them. And the left-wing fragmentation was very high, because there were 3 political parties that got representatives, and with a small difference in the number of representatives that each left-hand party got. The application of the similarity function, there are 5 fuzzy values and linguistic: very high, high, medium, low, and very low. The difference between each related fuzzy value of one of the existing ones is fixed. So the distance between very high and high is 1, but the distance between very high and medium is 2, etc. If we apply the distance previously defined, the difference between the current case and the rest of the cases is calculated. And, for example, the distance between the elections of 2021 with the elections of 2019 is 11, and the distance between the elections of 2021 with the elections of 2015 is 7. The reuse phase. The most similar elections were the 11 ones. And in the table, we can see the comparison of the key factors, and this is why the distance between the two electoral processes is 3. And in the revise phase, the new key factors are quantified, and they are the pandemic conditions, the political party in government is the right wing, and according to polls, more than the half of the citizens of Madrid approves the management of this party of the COVID-19 pandemic. And the political context in the right wing and in the left wing. And the average of all polls, more than 50, the table shows the representatives that each political party would get. So we can get the transformation rules for getting the prediction, and the rules are: if right-wing fragmentation is low and economic crisis is high and government corruption right-wing is low, then the right wing with the three parties will get the 60% of the votes approximately, and the left wing with the three parties will get the 40% of votes. And if right-wing fragmentation is medium and economic crisis is medium and government corruption of the right wing is medium, then the right wing will get the 50% of the votes, the same that the left wing. But if right-wing fragmentation is medium and political context large decrease, then the parties, the votes of the three parties will change the percentage, and the same for the left wing. So if we apply these last rules, the prediction will be the one that you can see in the slide. For the right wing, the three parties of the right wing, and the three parties of the left wing. So the results were the ones that are shown in the first column, and we already registered these results for having a comproval of the value of the results of the prediction. And the were obtained using our proposed method, taking into account the last elections and using something similar to case-based reasoning. The governmental organism that made opinion polls, that is called Sociological Research Center of Spain, got a difference of 24 points. That is very significant. And a famous data analyst of the newspaper El País, a difference of 20 points. And the average of all opinion polls, more than 50 polls, got a difference of 24 points. And our proposal, based on CBR, got a difference of 12 points. So, as conclusions, there are not too many papers in which the something similar of CBR-based techniques are applied to election predictions. And the predictions based on statistical and machine learning techniques mainly is based on historical data, and the election prediction is a very complex event where historical data alone is not enough. And there are key factors to consider. The intelligent data analysis guided by knowledge engineering could be interesting to anticipate the result of this type of phenomena, and by applying the proposed technique, better results were obtained than with current prediction usual techniques. So, many thanks for your attention, and questions or comments are welcome. Many thanks.